lovely book dragons, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Joana and I love to talk about books on this channel, specifically fantasy books. Today I want to share with you the things I am in the mood for right now for the month of February. My February TBR, if you will, with a little caveat that I've been mood reading a lot and it's been working super well in January, but these are books that are kind of like what I'm in the mood for right now. This could change throughout the month, of course. So how I'm dividing this TBR is carryovers, the TBR, and then the maybes. And I want to do one more caveat is that I link every single book that I mentioned in the description of my videos because I don't really like knowing much going into my books. And so I don't really look up synopsis. I never really know what to tell you. But if you want to know synopsis, you can check the description. Without further discussing, let's talk about the carryover. So as of filming this, it is January 31st and I still have one book that I haven't finished and I'm halfway through and I know I will not finish it because it is a big one, and that is The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan, the second book in the Wheel of Time. I am literally halfway through. This is now going to switch to my priority read for today at least, and then I'm going to try and get quite a way through it today so that for the rest of the week I can just sprinkle it here and there as an audiobook. I'm mainly listening to this as an audio, but I'm gonna try and immersion read the last half of this, and I hear that the second half of this book is really good, so I'm very much excited to see what happens at the end of this book because it has a lot of my friends railing and telling me read it already so that we can discuss. So this is my first order of business in February, is to finish off The Great Hunt. I'll already say it here, technically I'm supposed to be reading The Dragon Reborn in March. It's gonna be a maybe because as you'll see, the books that I do really want to get to right now are all quite chunky. So I don't know if I'll get to The Dragon Reborn, but The Great Hunt is definitely The Dragon Reborn, a maybe. So now onto the books that I'm either committed to and or have really been in the mood for, and therefore I'm prioritizing. The first one I'm going to mention is one that I do not own physically, and that is The Dragonbone Chair by Tad Williams. This is going to be a buddy read with my friend Abby and with our friend Sam and with Monae over at Life as Monae. I will leave also everyone linked in the description of this video so that you can check out their Instagrams and or YouTube channels. So we are deciding to step into Ostenard and read Memory, Sorrow and Thorn. This is definitely prompted for me specifically by Grey Area, who is a channel that does a lot of Game of Thrones from the show and also from the books content. I will also leave her link down below. And she's been saying for years, read Memory, Sorrow and Thorn, read Memory, Sorrow and Thorn. And I kind of just put it on the back burner. And then when we were having the live show discussion over on Abby's channel for The Forgetting Moon by Brian Lee Durfee, Jimmy over at the Fantasy Network was saying, hey, you guys should really read Memory, Sorrow and Thorn because I know you like this. I know you guys like A Song of Ice and Fire, so you should read Memory, Sorrow and Thorn. And so Abby and I decided, yeah, let's do it. And we had buddy read The Forgetting Moon with our friend Sam. And he said, I also want to read it with you. So here we are. And then Monae was also reading it coincidentally. And so we're all buddy reading Memory, Sorrow, Thorn this year. I'm super excited. I'm very much looking forward to getting into this one. I mean, I assume it is political and character driven and stuff like that, but I don't know anything else about it. Everything that I knew from Grey Area I've forgotten on purpose, so I'm excited to get to this one and tell you what I think. Next up is Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. This is my book club, so I am hosting a read alongside Really Book Club. It's a read along for the Cosmere Unbounded. We are reading Elantris in the month of February. As of right now, I have failed the Mistborn Era 2 conclusion. I didn't reread Warbreaker because I'm trying to limit rereads as much as I can, but I have never read Elantris, so I'm very excited to get to this one. Like I said, this is the book club pick, and this is a standalone in the Cosmere. As of right now, at least, it's a standalone. And all I know is that this was like, Elantris was a place, it says here, Elantris was a place of glory, but now it isn't. Now, like, people that are plagued by some sort of disease are kind of like put there and sequestrated there. That's all I know. I don't really know anything else, and I'm super excited because it's one of the only Cosmere books I think that I haven't read. That and like the last Mistborn Era 2. So yeah, I'm making my way through the Cosmere. I mean, it's Brandon Sanderson. I know I'm gonna love this because it's him. And even though people say that this book is often hit or miss for them because this is his first published work and that he hadn't really come into like the Brandon Sanderson that we know and love from the later books, but I'm still excited to see where it all began and to give this one a go. I am pretty confident I'm gonna like it because, like I said, I am predisposed to liking Brandon Sanderson books, so we'll see how this one goes. So really a theme here, except for like mood reading, continuing in series, is the theme of getting back to my favorite authors. I did a video over Vlogmas when I was still doing Vlogmas, my favorite authors, and then I did a follow-up video that was all the books by my favorite authors that I haven't read yet. And I realized in that video, that there's so many books by my favorite authors that I haven't read for no good reason. I just keep on putting them off and saying, oh, I'll save them for a rainy day. So I had to interrupt this video because the doorbell rang, but I think I was telling you that I keep on saving my favorite authors' books for a rainy day, which I don't want to do anymore. They're my favorite authors for a reason, and I want to read things that I know I'm gonna love. And that's really the theme of this next book. I have been really wanting to get back to these authors' works, and that is Robin Hobb. And the next book I have is Mad Ship. I buddy read the first book of the series with Sophia last year, and then I just, you know, this is 900 pages, so I really just, that's the excuse, is that it's big, it takes time. I could read a lot of other books in the time that I read this, but I know I'm gonna love this. I really know I'm gonna love this. I love Robin Hobb. I've been loving the series, and so this is what I'm in the mood for. I messaged Sophia, I was like, hey, are you down to start Mad Ship? And we're gonna start tomorrow on February 1st. So super excited to get back into the realm of the Elderlings. This is the second book in the Life Ship Traders trilogy, which is the second trilogy in the realm of the Elderlings. And this one is a multi-POV series where ships can become sentient, and we follow multiple perspectives of this family and of traders and of all of that good stuff. So this one is, I don't know, it's just like, I can't wait to get back into the character development that is Robin Hobb. Like, I'm just super excited. The next book I have here is also a big chunky book, also 900 pages, I think almost 1,000 actually. This is a continuation of a series that I started last month in January. Look at me continuing on series upon starting them. That is A Master Artificer by Justin T. Call. I am super excited to get to this because I read Master of Sorrows, which is the first book. I filmed the review, which is coming out after this, I think, or 2 videos after this, or the next video, it's gonna be the review of the first book. And I was totally taken by surprise. I was not expecting to love this. I had no idea I didn't even own this one because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get first book in series without buying the sequels, without knowing if I love the first one. And this one I loved so much that I immediately purchased this one. It's huge. It's huge, but I'm super excited. I'm gonna be soft buddy reading this with Sam again over at Tome Tower and with my friend Stephanie. And yeah, we're super excited to get to this. And then we have to patiently wait for book 3, which is coming out next year in February. So why are we doing this? I don't know. Why are we waiting? Why are we starting series where we have to wait for so long? It's too bad, but I'm sure this is going to be so good. I love the first one, and I cannot wait to get to this one and see what Justin T. Call has in store for us, because that first book was really great. Next up is another buddy read and reread, and I am a co-host for Vish over at Books with V, her channel Buddy Read, and in the month of January we started with Daughter of Smoke and Bone, and so February we're reading Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor. I read this book way back when it came out, and I never finished the series, so this is going to be a reread, and then the third book is not a reread, that's me finally finishing out the series. I reread, of course, Daughter of Smoke and Bone in January. I read it in 2 days. I read it in less than 24 hours. It was just, I don't know, it was so compelling, and so I'm actually really excited to get into Days of Blood and Starlight, because this one is more high fantasy. The first one can almost be an urban fantasy, because it is, for most of the books, set in Prague or in Marrakesh or even in Idaho and Paris, so in our world, and this one kind of expands upon everything and upon the politics. So I'm very excited to get to this one, because I really don't remember much about this. I have like vivid flashes of like 1 or 2 scenes from this book, but nothing else. So I'm very excited to get back to this. It's been like, I think 8 or so years since I've read this one for the first time. So yeah, excited for this. Excited to discuss this with the girls, because Ali and Sophia are also joining us on this buddy read. It's always exciting to talk with friends about books that you're reading together, and for me, something that's so nostalgic, and for them, I'm excited to see what they think of it, because I still don't know what they think of Daughter of Smoke and Bone, because we haven't had the live show yet. But yeah, I'm very excited for this. Finally finishing it out, guys, finally. It's kind of like a Throne of Glass situation. Started it years ago, and now I'm finishing it off. Yay for 2022 goals. And then there's only 2 more books on my official, I really want to get to these, but then again, if you saw that 2 of the books are 900-page tomes. Daughter of Smoke and Bone is 500. Elantris I didn't check, but probably roughly 500. So my TBR is already looking, oh, and Dragon Bone Tree I think is like 800, so my TBR is already insane. Okay, but I have 2 books that are also very big. But I'm going to be rereading House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. I wasn't gonna reread this, you know? I really wasn't. I was like, I still remember what happened. And then I looked up what happened. And then the first name literally that popped up, I was like, I don't remember this person. So I am due for a reread. I'm so excited. These covers are just so stunning. The reason I'm gonna be rereading this one is because the second book, House of Sky and Breath, comes out in February, and these 2 are my TBR. I just can't wait to get to this. I love this first one. I know it's like 8, it doesn't look big. It's like super thin pages, but it's like, I think it's 800 or something. These pages are so thin. 800 and... oh, exactly 800 pages. So, I don't know how big the second one is, but I did read this one in 4 days the first time that I read it because I loved it that much. And I couldn't put it down. So, these two books are the last books that are officially on my TBR. Should I, by some miracle, get through all of those books, which this is the shortest month, I'm gonna be out of town for 4 days. Yeah, I still work full time. So, should I get through all of those books? I have a few books here. I put 2 more books that I would actually really like to get to, but honestly, if I don't get to them, it'll be another time. The first one is one that I actually kind of sort of committed to, but I already told the people that I committed to that this is like, I'm really not sure if this is gonna happen in February, because when I read this, I want to read the sequel and finish out the series, and that is Jade War by Fonda Lee. I actually have started, as you can tell from the tabs. I am literally 93 pages into this one, and I started really annotating the crap out of this one, which was such a great experience, and I'm gonna continue tabbing this one, and that's why I'm taking it really slowly, because when you tab as extensively as I have been tabbing this one, like it's really crazy, it takes a long time. So I'm thinking I'm gonna leave this one for March, but I don't know, it could be that all of a sudden the mood strikes on like Jade War is all I want to read. Then I'm gonna say bye-bye to the other books and read Jade War. That's the life of a mood reader, isn't it? But yeah, if I don't read this in February, I'm hoping to maybe get this in March and to Jade Legacy and finish off another series. Look at me go. And the final book that is a big maybe. It's because this is more like I hear it has a heavy romantic part to the book, and it is a January new release that I pre-ordered, so I would actually be really excited to get to this very soon. That is The Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan. This is like the prettiest book I own, I think. It's just so beautiful. And yeah, I heard the hype about this. It was so high, and this one came out earlier in the US, so a bunch of my US/Canadian friends were reading it and really hyping it up for me, and I pre-ordered it. I got this gorgeous hardcover from the UK, and I want to read it. I love Asian inspired fantasy. It's some of my favorite fantasy, plus it has a romantic, like it's strong in its romance plot, I think. Like they say, Sarah Ovatsari said, if you don't like romance in your books, then you should probably not read this one, because the romance aspect is quite important to the story. So that's why I kind of want to read it, because, you know, February, the month of love. But yeah, I don't think I will get to this, honestly, because my TBR is already a little bit wacko. So those are all the books that I plan to read in the month of February. Like I said, all of this huge caveat, I just like to share with you what my plans are, and then we'll see how I do. You know, at the end of the month, you'll see that, oh, I actually decided to scrap everything and read Ship of Destiny after my chip, because I just had to read it. So yeah, that is going to be it for me today. Let me know if you're planning on reading any of these, and or if you've read them, what you thought of them, and let me know in the comments down below what you're planning on reading in the month of February. If you just want to let me know that you were here, leave, you know it, a dragon emoji, and until next time, happy reading. Bye guys.